Some might say unfortunate timing. Others might say Nintendo does what Nintendo wants, and they will not be denied by any sort of competition. Um, so yeah, this is one that, in spite of everything else that's coming out, Mark, you said you're going to be getting it as well, along with the other two, and I think this is the only one that I'm really considering purchasing.
Yeah, you
And
weren't
that
sure
is
about that, but it sounds like you might be more sure than when you were messaging me this weekend, right?
Yeah, and that's a weird thing that I don't necessarily want to get into on the show, but I do think this is one that might end up getting DLC because of the
Sure.
nature of it is that she has the various sort of for people who don't know, it's like a play or theatrical theme, that's hence Princess Peach Showtime,
Like
and
Puppeteer or something. Do you remember that game, Puppeteer?
she has sort of these personas that she becomes. One of them is like a Zorro type of character, and then another one is a I think she's gonna transform right now. Yeah, there you go. This is like the sword fighter character, and then there's like a pastry chef one. We've seen like an Elsa Frozen looking ice figure skater one. There's a cow girl. There's a kung fu and a ninja one, a superhero one. So there's a lot of different personas or characters that she becomes and gets various abilities, whether it's combat or literally baking cakes. There's a lot of variety here in this game, which I think is one of its strong suits. But I could definitely see some DLC coming down the line. There being like a full package type of edition later. And that's one thing that really irks me, is like when I buy a game and then I find out later like, oh, I don't have the full game, because there's more to it, and that's probably like a dumb thing to be bothered about. But it does. I like to sit down and play a game, and when I play it, I played the whole thing. So it's like if there's gonna be more coming, um, it's like, oh, well, I don't know if I'm necessarily going to go back at that point. So I'm doing the same thing for Final Fantasy 16. I'm waiting for the DLC for that game to go in and enjoy the whole thing. And there's been no rumors or anything of there being any type of DLC for this. So I that's completely just because of the type of game it is and the premise. So I may be, anticipating a big fat bowl of nothing here. But I will say, even in spite of that, I really am considering picking this one up. Not only because I might end up doing a review for this. I think I alluded to it on Lono's stream that there's only like a 15% chance of that, because there's probably going to be outlets like IGN and everybody else that are going to jump on this way earlier in the week than Friday, which would be the soonest that I get my hands on this, because there's no shot that Nintendo's giving me a code for anything as long as I live, because that's just Nintendo. But not only that there's slight review potential here, but also when I say that from playing the demo, I think that this game has the potential to be, and I'm serious about this, Mark. This game has the potential to be my favorite Nintendo first party IP game of all time. And
Whoa.
and I have
Whoa,
not
whoa, whoa.
played the two Zeldas. I've not played the two
Whoa.
Zeldas.
Whoa.
But
Whoa.
those aside, hey
Yeah.
man, those you gotta have some time to play those games. Like, let's be serious. Those
Sure.
aside, Mario 2D especially has never really spoken to me. So I haven't played Wonder. I would love if Wonder sort of changed my mind about that. But I played a lot of the other ones. Like I played Mario
Odyssey. What do you think
Maker
about
and
Odyssey? Super
Odyssey
Mario.
is good. The hat mechanic never really got me. The
Yeah.
same thing with
Yeah.
Sunshine. Like I these are games, the personality of them, the charm, the attention to detail, like they really win me over. I love these worlds. I love these characters. I really want to enjoy the games. I bought them all. God knows I bought them all and played them all for, 5 to 8 hours to maybe even 10 hours sometimes. And I'm just like, I don't know if I don't get it, or if I just don't like it, or if it's just hard. Or I'm also like Mario Challenge, like my ex-girlfriend, when the last Mario uh the deluxe or whatever, the one with Nabit and whatever it
Yeah,
came
yeah,
out, that
yeah.
was like a Wii port,
Yeah.
Wii U port. She was like destroying me in co-op, because like in her childhood she played these games, right? And I don't have that. Like
Hmm.
I didn't really grow up with these type of games. And I didn't grow up with a GameCube. I bought one during the pandemic because Nintendo's always been something that I've sort of admired from afar. I haven't had one since a 64, and I really love the 64. I had a bunch of Mario games for 64, but um, I've always sort of admired Mario and Nintendo from afar since then, but I haven't really had like a hands-on sort of nostalgia for it in any regard. So, I missed a bunch of stuff, in the GameCube era with Sunshine and Luigi's Mansion and all those type of games. And I didn't get to play Galaxy or Galaxy 2 on the Wii. And so I played a lot of those games in retrospect, kind of, in the last 5 or so years. And like, they're not really hitting for me, I don't think, the way that they hit for people at the time that those came out. And also, I don't really know that those games are like made for me. I think I really, really struggle with like the platforming and like those type of aspects of those games that like the core Mario game is founded upon. And a lot of other games like Kirby and other franchises that Nintendo makes, even like Yoshi's Crafted World, borrow a lot from those Mario franchises and those Mario games. And the thing that I really, really love about this game, first of all, it's wholesome as all hell. Like, I don't think you can find a more wholesome game, even on a Nintendo platform. Like, this thing is just like, you did it, and like, good job, and like, what are we gonna do? Peach, save us!
Exactly.
Like, it's like my mic's probably coming out because I'm like trying to do a high pitch, but you got like the little dudes here. I don't even know what they are. They're not Koopas, they're not Toads, but they're little
ducks
guys
or
whatever.
Ducks,
yeah. Like they're cheering you on at every turn. It's so, like this game's gonna be so encouraging for your kids if you have kids. Like it's telling you can do it and no, you did it and like whatever. And just like it's goofy, it's fun. Like the gameplay here, like you literally just like putting icing on cakes and stuff. And the contrast from that to like the hack and slash combat, like there's so much variety here. But it's just like a wholesome, charming vibe that I've always loved from Nintendo, that I've always wanted to get into. But then there's some sort of barrier for me of not having that sort of like muscle memory and understanding of like being able to do the Mario backflip and the platforming and the slides and the run and you jump and you hit the pole at the top and I've never been good at any of that stuff. And like, so there's always been sort of a barrier for me. And this game is like doing its own thing and it's like different gameplay. Like it's not your stereotypical Mario platformer gameplay. And it's like, dude, is like, is this the one? Like, is this the one that I can enjoy as not having that background, like not being somebody that really can play a 3D world or the new Super Mario games? Or, I'm worried that Wonder is not even going to hit for me because that side-scroller traditional Mario game, I've just never had the aptitude or the history with it. And this one is like capitalizing on all that charm, all that Nintendo magic, but it's giving me like more like very basic, like traditional action type of gameplay, and it feels like it could be something special for me. So I think that's gonna go for a lot of like young kids as well, especially like little girls. Like little girls are gonna play this and they're gonna be like, oh, this is Peach. Like it's not Mario center stage. It's a young woman, a young lady, that little girls will be able to, or even grown women will be able to sort of see themselves represented here. And I think them putting the entire spotlight on Peach with no reference to Mario or having to save Mario or Mario being in another castle or any jokes like that is a really good move here. And I think that this one is gonna knock it out of the park. I really do.
Yeah, this is only the second game, I'm pretty sure, where it was just exclusively for Princess Peach, right? They did Super Princess Peach back in the DS for 2005.
Yeah, and I heard that one was like a little bit problematic, maybe like in hindsight. I don't know if we want to. Yeah, I don't even know, but it was a fine game. But I think this one is doing leaps and bounds better than that one in terms of both gameplay and sort of the premise and the narrative of like what's going on.
Sure.
And just it just seems so charming, like in the pastry chef thing in the demo, like the like Ratatouille style like music is playing and everything. Like the vibe of this is so spot on. Like it's impossible not to have fun and feel good and smile when you're playing this game.
Yeah, it surprised me because, again, I knew it was announced and I got the general idea, like, oh, you're going to go through different stages and you'll get different abilities per stage. But like that demo, the first one's hack and slash, and I was cracking up when you do that parry dodge. It's like a slow motion. Like I'm like, that's like their attempt at doing like a Bayonetta or Final
Yeah.
Fantasy 16 slow-mo dodge. I was like, oh, that's cool. But then yeah, you go to the baking level next. I'm like, there's no combat here at all. Like you're just doing these almost like mini games and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Which that one cake design where it was like a star that that frustrated me. My brain like broke. I hear what you're saying, Kirk. The only reason why I say like wait is because we don't know if there's going to be a mode where it is more platform heavy, and that's where you get to that point where like, oh, this level is the one.
Yeah.
I
That's true.
I see it as like Nintendo has their core first party, right? 2D or 3D Mario, and then they do, you know, there's Kirby, which is more of the all in all younger generation.
I need to play Forgotten Land. I might really like
I think
that
you'd
game.
like that a lot too.
Yeah.
That I gotta finish that game, but that's kind of how I came in looking at this. It's like, oh, this is gonna be, you know, a first party Nintendo game that's you know not a part of their core lineup. It's probably gonna be somewhere in between like Kirby Star Allies and Yoshi's Crafted World. And I'm getting the sense because it's different in ways, people are gonna be more receptive to it. Like Yoshi's Crafted World is very much like a it's just like an easier Mario game, right? It's in that art style and direction.
Even still, like I think the gameplay of that was so Mario adjacent that it didn't really get me.
Yeah.
And something that like really kind of showed me like maybe I really love Mario, I just don't love Mario games, is when I played that not Sparks of Hope, Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Rabbids, yeah,
from Ubisoft, and I was like,
the
dude,
XCOM style game.
I was
yeah.
like, dude, I love this. Like,
game.
that thing was like
yeah.
that thing was like drugs, dude. Like I was like, I freaking love this game, man. Like it because it was the world and the charm of Mario, but it was like given to me in a way that was so much more palatable. When it's so strange, right? Like I can beat Lies of P every way to Sunday and Sekiro and Dark Souls 3 and all those other difficult games, right? But then, you know, put a Mario platformer in front of me and I'm like, it's more that I'm just like not having fun. Like I'm having fun in the world, but I'm not having fun with the gameplay that I'm engaging with. And I've beaten the original Mario. I got a considerable way through the 3D world, and you know, so I know what they are, and like they're cool. I just wish I liked them more. Like I like them like as games. Like I really like engaging with the characters in the world, but playing it just doesn't feel so fun and fulfilling in the way that people really seem to look at these games. And so I was planning on Wonder kind of being the one where I'm like, no, I'm gonna make it work. Like I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love Mario. And it's like now that this game is coming out, I'm like, maybe I don't have to do that. Like maybe this is like an alternative experience. I'm excited for RPG as well. I need to go and play that one. And Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I think maybe those are like gonna be the Nintendo games that I'm really gonna love. I like the Pikmin games, you know, because that's different. That's doing its own thing. So yeah, this one it's like it's hard for me with it being only $60, you know, in a world where everything is 70 now. I think if this was 50, it'd be no question I'd go pick this up. But I think the only thing that is like hindering me is like that it is 60, which is good. It's not 70, but like baby game is baby game, you know? Like it's like, but it's so fun. Like it really is fun. I just feel weird as like a 30-year-old adult like making cakes, like pastries and stuff. But it's fun. It's so charming, and like the music and everything is so good. Like I said, this whole level with the baking and everything feels like you're in like Ratatouille or something, like with the music playing and everybody's dancing and everything. I mean, I don't know. It's just like goofy and wholesome, and it speaks to your inner child, I think. And you know, if you have kids or if you are a kid, you know, it's gonna speak to you. It's gonna be a wholesome game. For younger folks, and I just think like, how could you not like this game? Basically,
this is the cake that gave me trouble. By the way, right here, I was like, wait, what's the design I got to do?
Yeah, a bit more complex.
Yeah, to your point about price, I feel like Nintendo's charged $70 for Tears of the Kingdom, and they were very adamant, like, we're gonna charge you $70 for a game when we feel like there's $70 worth of a game. And I feel like for the most part, you know, people can get on Nintendo for their premium. You know, they don't devalue their games, which is good business. But at the other hand of it, they typically give you good games, and I see why it's probably priced that way. I it probably could be a steep thing, but I do think this game's gonna do really well. Here's like I think currently the Switch right now in 2024, we have this, we have that Thousand Year Door remake, which is I think May or June. Didn't they finally give us the announcement for that? Because Luigi's Mansion 2 remake is in June, so I think Thousand Year Door is sometime before that. We're dealing with a lot of re-releases, and I'm just so curious about like, because what are they gonna do end of year to also bolster the library? Is there gonna be any new original content? You know, is this stuff really gonna move more units? This game maybe not, but it's still gonna sell well. I guess my whole thing is like I'm glad Princess Peach is getting a game. I just want another Wario game, like another mainline
Oh.
Wario land, or like Wario speaks to me. As an Italian, I love Mario, but as an Italian who loves garlic and struggles with gluttony, Wario is just like, hey, I'm represented.
This is
Like
the real Italian, you know.
This is yeah. He probably gambles, he smokes, he might be involved in organized crime. We don't know.
He's like the Tony Soprano of the Mario universe.
So I mean, I just think that's an IP they're missing out on. Wario and Waluigi Brothers or something like that, because people really want a Waluigi game. And I'm like, you pair them up, you got something special there too. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be a fun game. It's not going to be a game changer, but you're going to have a lot of fun. There's probably going to be replayability, like the collectible things you get. Like if you do every activity you can in each level was kind of fun. It got me engaged right away. So yeah, I'm curious about it. I'll play through it. Kirk, you'll have to get back to me after you beat the game if like you stand by what you say. Like this is the best.
The best Nintendo.
And I think that's in large part just because it's tough to have time to play Nintendo games in a world where I have the two other consoles and I have Game Pass. I have been on more of a Nintendo Switch kick recently with Prince of Persia coming out, and I was getting codes for that. Thank you to Ubisoft, and getting a code for Inculinati, and then Balatro. Obviously, I had to pick that up on Switch because I'm not a Steam Deck guy, so that's where I was gonna play it. So, I've been kind of getting real comfortable with the Switch. I just got the cracked Nitro deck thing.
Great.
That makes it really great to play. Yeah, so I'm very high on playing Switch games right now. So I think like if it just feels like if I was gonna do it, like now would be the time to really start playing some of these games. And this one's coming out like right now. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I definitely need to go and play Forgotten Land. I don't know if I own Forgotten Land, actually. If it's ever been on sale in the eShop, I've definitely bought it. But I need to play.
Does any Nintendo first-party game go on sale in the eShop?
Yes.
It's very...
Yeah, they do.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, Superstars is on sale like right now. I think today's the last day. Mario Party Superstars.
Wow. That's
but yeah, no, the Crafted World's on sale right now too. They got to be out there for a little bit. Like I grabbed Breath of the Wild for $40, but that was like 3 or 4 years on. So most people get physical. I have my whole Switch collection digital because I figured with the portable thing, like I just want it on the thing, that I'm carrying around. I don't want to carry around a bunch of little cartridges like if I go on a flight or something. So it's tough. It's tough finding deals on the eShop for first party games, but I'm pretty vigilant in that regard. But yeah, that's another thing too, is like Rise of the Ronin will be $30 eventually. Princess Peach digitally will never be $30.
Absolutely.
So
exactly. You can wait.
What are your thoughts, Ken? Are you picking this one up?
Yeah, so like it's kind of feels like, I don't know why there hasn't been a full-blown Princess Peach game to this point. I know you said there was a one earlier on. It seems weird that she's always been kind of, as you said, like basically the premise of every Mario game. Somehow Bowser gets her again. Jesus, maybe she needs to be like locked up or something, or because they do a pretty bad job of keeping her safe. But yeah, like I think, as you said, this is like the charm and the gameplay, like because a lot of the Mario games, especially kind of the party ones, kind of have all these mini games. So it's kind of like, what if we had that, but Princess Peach is, you kind of put them into a Princess Peach game as well. So yeah, I think this looks really good, and I feel that I just feel that with the kind of life cycle of the Switch coming to an end, and the Switch 2 rumored to be next year. This feels like the last big game in terms of like as you said, there's going to be kind of remasters or re-releases, but this feels like the kind of one big one for this year that they're like, well, at least we have this kind of first party in the Mario universe, and that they'll just hang their hat on other stuff in terms of its remasters of all their games, the end of the year. But yeah, like again, I got Odyssey last year.
Such a good game.
It's a really fun game. Really enjoyed it. I didn't get the Game of the Year hype from my point of view. I thought it was good, but I felt the
going up against Zelda in particular. Is that what you mean?
No, just in general, like compared to the so many great games that was out last year. I felt the Wonder Seed got a bit gimmicky after a while, where it's like, oh, what's it going to do now? The map is going to turn upside down. Like the first few times, it's like, oh, this is cool. Like,
you're talking about Wonder. I thought you said Odyssey.
Yeah.
Did I say Odyssey or what did I say?
Yeah. You're talking about Wonder.
I meant Wonder. Yeah, Wonder. Like I enjoyed, but I felt that Wonder was, as I said, that got a bit gimmicky after a while with the flower or whatever it is, where it kind of changes up the level. It was still a good game. But a lot of people, I suppose, like the direction they're going with 2D Mario and stuff like that. So this looks like, as you said, a bit more of an accessible game and I think it's actually quite. That's why I'm surprised. Like this, there's actually a huge part of the Switch. People who have Switch is like female contingent. So a lot of people played Animal Crossing when that was huge. That got in people all different ages, demographics.
It's okay if you're a guy and you play Animal Crossing. I'm just saying. I mean,
of course, that's what I mean.
Nothing wrong with that. I played quite a few hours myself. So,
but everyone was playing Animal Crossing when it came out. And, obviously it was COVID and everything. But this seems like a no-brainer to get in a more female audience. As you said, you don't even have to be a kid to be like, oh well, it's cool to play as a badass. As you see here with her saber. So I think it's in that point of view, I think it's a smart move, because it's kind of almost an untapped female player base that they haven't really touched on Nintendo. So
well, Peach, like Mark said, Peach had her last game like back in the DS era, and that's like the only one. Yeah. She's only been a guest character or like a co-op character in other Mario games. So I mean, it's about damn time, right, for her to get her own game. And I love that they gave it sort of the treatment of like, it's not just a Mario game, but it's Peach.
Exactly,
and it's completely.
And it's also not like, it doesn't feel like just like a little spin-off. Like it feels like, no, this is like a first-party Peach game, a first-party Nintendo Peach game that they're going to put in all the bells and whistles that we know, and kind of the, as you said, the charm and all the different kind of mini games that you expect. It's not just like a little DLC or spin-off for something else. It's like her own game, which means it's going to have like her own kind of, like, as you're used to the what a Mario 3D game is, what a Mario 2D game is, and same with Luigi's Mansion. This is going to be her own style of game as well, which is cool. So yeah, it looks